if we can sleep better, we can make better decisions.
Sleep is the thing. Thomas Dekker said it's the golden thread that unites everything.
Dr. Nerina Ramlakhan is a leading sleep expert and neurophysiologist with a PhD from King's College London, 4 books under her belt, and decades of experience helping people sleep better. She's worked with neurodivergent footballers, high-powered CEOs, and people who've burnt out, broken down, and hit the wall, because she's been there herself. After being sectioned and diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD at 31, her entire life and career shifted, pushing her to rewrite everything we know about sleep, recovery, and the nervous system. Just a heads up, we do touch on some difficult topics such as mental health and abuse. Let's get into it. Let's see how great minds think differently. What about parents, as I am one, with neurodivergent kids and helping young people who are not thinking about powering down and when they're eating and don't have phones, but getting our children to have really good sleep when the world, in my view now, is more stimulating than it was in the 80s when I was growing up.
Absolutely. We were in that generation, Gen X, where we knew the world before tech and with tech.
Yeah.
So we are the space holders for these young generations. If we want them to do it, we have to do it ourselves. You want your children not to have a phone in the bedroom when they're a bit older, you need to get your phone out of the bedroom. If you don't want your children to be in a high anxiety state, you need to work on that for yourself. You need to steady, because we are constantly lending our nervous systems to the macrocosm of our family. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm of our family. You want the macrocosm of your family to be one of safety and steadiness and conscious choice. I have a red velvet chair in my conservatory, and my daughter watches me put the phone away. But she also watches me not to put the phone away.
Sure.
And she goes, Mum, but why are you on your phone? It's true. And so I said, I give it to her and I said, can you switch it off for me? You actually switch it off and put it in another room. So I guess the answer is we have to hold the space. It's really hard. You have to be the change.
Yeah.
And that's where the hard work of being a parent, because we're in that leadership role. And I say this when I go into corporate environments. If you want a culture in your organization of safety, there's no amount of talking about trust and allowing people to make mistakes and all. It's absolute shit if you don't walk around with a nervous system, an embodied state of safety in your nervous system. You have to exude that as you go through the spiral doors of your organization in that lovely shiny glass and chrome building. If you're not exuding that yourself, your staff will not feel safe.
Yeah.
And until people get this, until leaders get that, until our generation get this, and we need to stop whinging about the world that we've created and do something about it.
What do people most often ask you about sleep?
The 8 hours thing, or I've never slept well, everyone in my family's never slept well. Blah,
And
blah,
is there
blah.
a hereditary or genetic component
There
to
is.
how well we sleep?
Yeah, there is a biopsychosocial
Okay.
element. You know, there is the biology of this, and then there's learnt behaviours within the family. I mean, I remember my father, he was diagnosed, they called it back then, manic depressive, highly driven, tenacious individual. Growing up in the tropics, I'd hear him walking up and down. He couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
I'd hear him crying out at night. You know, highly traumatised man.
My poor wife,
Yeah.
who tells herself that when she wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
she can't get back to sleep.
Yeah, and that's a typical one. So I say, how do you know it's 4 o'clock? I looked at the time. And I'll go, you're on week 6 of the programme. Are you still looking at the time? Right. So, I mean, I'm diminutive, but sometimes I have to get really fierce. Of course. So, you know, I just took a group of people in January through a 6-week journey, and over 75% of them are neurodivergent, and the beautiful human beings, the young ones, were lovely. And they wrote to me and they said, oh, God, it's changed my relationship. I'm able to study now. I'm at uni. But it's the older ones who would say, no, I need my phone in the room, blah, 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 I need to look at the time. And then I'm like, okay, because they've got these tram lines of behavior. So we've got the genetics, yes, but we've got such a leeway of potential in terms of changing our behaviors. When you know that this is not working for you, you can do it different. You can override the genetics, change your behavior. So I tell them, get off the phone, get the phone out of there, remind them, yes, stop checking the time. And then I lovingly teach people meditation. So once they've been doing the 5 non-negotiables for 2 or 3 weeks, and I can sense a softening in the nervous system. They come back to me. I don't ask them, are you feeling safe? They're already telling me. They might be the management consultant who's going, yeah, I'm now seeing a career consultant because I can't be in this environment anymore. I knew day dotty that actually that job is not helping you. You don't feel safe and it's not the space for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take them into career coaching. I have to help them feel safe.
But I find that interesting. I think it's easy to kind of go, I've got a lot going on at home, or there's some family stress situation and therefore I'm not sleeping. And you can kind of easily explain that away. And I guess there can be, obviously, work worries that can creep in.
Totally.
But when you're talking about actually the job, like the actual, your career choice is not conducive with you and sleep.
Absolutely.
What are the benefits of sleeping?
God. I have so many files open in my brain right now.
So do I.
And hang on, I just need to take a deep breath because, as you said right at the beginning of this interview, sleep is the thing. Thomas Dekker said it's the golden thread that unites everything, right? Mind, body, spirit. So if I can get them to start feeling better because they're feeling more rested. I'm not even promising them you're going to sleep better. I'm promising them to get them feeling more rested. And I'm going to be fierce about that. And I'm going to say, you will still wake up during the night. But it won't matter so much because I've helped you to tap into a restful state, which starts to give you more resource and energy. So you can then start addressing whatever it is, the relationship, the bereavement, the trauma from whatever happened when you were 7 years old that you now are ready to deal with, or the work situation because your boss is whatever it is, or that thirst within you to write that book. You've now got the resource to do it.
Yeah, you're more equipped.
And I learned this when I started repairing my relationship when I was 34, that I started being resourced to then deal with all of the stuff of my life. My sister died shortly after that. The trauma of grief, the trauma of my childhood, I was then able to go back and unpack some of that.
If somebody tells you that they have a lot of dreams, what does that tell you about their sleep?
I go, whoopee, let's work on this one.
Okay.
Let's work. I mean, that's probably 3 sessions worth of unpacking. First of all, let's get your nervous system cleaner. Dreams, we dream for all sorts of reasons. It might be that you're just overstimulated from the world. It could be overstimulated from stimulants. It could be the vaping. It could be the caffeine.
Should we be dreaming?
We should be. Everyone dreams.
Okay.
Not everyone remembers their dreams. So
Yes.
I spend a lot of time educating people about the value of dreams, the purpose of dreams, the different types of dreams. We are dreaming a lot of dreams that are related to simply handling too much information because we're on our phones and our devices too much. So we want to get that a little cleaner.
Yeah.
And then you drop down. Let's get the caffeine out of the system and get you off those energy drinks. Then we drop down a bit more. Okay, what's happening to the dreams now? And then you might get to this point, you might get them doing breathing, journaling, meditating, calming, being able to sit in stillness, walking in nature without the phone. And then the dream quality starts to change.
Okay.
Then you might go, ooh, can we start doing some dream journaling? Look at the stories you're unpacking.
How long do dreams last?
There's all sorts of science around this, and there are all sorts of specialists. Dreams can last microseconds, but feel like hours.
Really?
My dreams last night felt like hours. And also we dream when we go into phases of sleep, REM sleep. If you break down the science and architecture of sleep,
Yes.
dreaming in 90-minute cycles. There's a slice of REM sleep that happens just before you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
And that chunk of REM sleep is your longest period, can be your longest period of REM sleep. And you can have your most vivid dreams then. And they're
Okay.
most vivid because your deepest deep sleep happens in the earliest phases of sleep. So just before you wake up, your deep sleep becomes shallower. In other words, you're transferring the information from your subconscious into your conscious pot more efficiently. Long-winded way of saying you're going to remember more.
Yes.
Yeah. And you wake up and you go,
I think it's true.
I was dreaming all night. You weren't. It was just that you remember it because it was so vivid, because it happened in that phase just before you woke up.
So then what's the difference, apart from good and bad, between a dream and a nightmare where sleep is
Nightmares
concerned?
are, I don't have them as often now, but it belongs to a group of sleep disorders called the parasomnias. And within that category, you have things like nightmares, night terrors, sleepwalking, sleep talking, teeth grinding, bruxism. Surprise, surprise. A lot of people. So I'm seeing so much more of that now. People grinding their teeth at night, having to wear mouth guards. So nightmares is definitely an overstimulation of the nervous system. Often when I start breaking it down and working with it, related to an overload of emotion. And that can be most recent stress, everyday stress. It can be related to trauma-related stress that needs unpacking.
You talked quite a bit before about, sight, sound, smells. And obviously when you're asleep, you close your eyes. I am assuming that our eyelids can detect light when they're closed.
Yeah.
You're going to have a different night's sleep if you sleep in the dark versus with the lights on. Yes?
Let's unpack sight, sound, smells.
Okay.
So let's get really practical about this for your audience.
Yeah.
You can even see through closed eyelids as well. So the hunter-gatherer will perceive changes in light levels, and the neurodivergent sensitive sleeper, very, very sensitive to sight. So they'll know the street lights. They will perceive as the light levels increase throughout the night. They will know as you're going into the 2 to 4 a.m., they'll know, and that can supercharge the cortisol response even more. So it's really important that you have those blackout blinds, or you have those clocks that can bring the light levels up gradually. If you have to wake up to an organizational timetable, for example, and you've got blackout blinds, or you have the chink of light, as I have with my curtains, or if you want to sleep a bit more. So I use a weighted lavender eye pillow, which has a dual effect. It has a triple effect probably. The weight is a somatic exercise. If I wake up from a nightmare, I go to the toilet. That's a way of breaking the cycle of the nightmare. Don't look at the time, come back, I stroke my dog. So that's a somatic way of bringing myself into safety. My rescue dog is one of my greatest therapists. I come back into the bed. I put the weighted eye pillow back on my bed. It restarts a sleep cycle, somatically brings me out of my head, back into my body. The horizontal brain is more likely to go into overthinking than the vertical brain. So you get horizontal again, your mind goes crazy. But I put the lavender weighted pillow there so it stops the light from intruding. So it helps to guide me back in again to my... So this is beautiful for your children to get these. And I don't like sleep masks.
Yeah, I was going to ask
them.
you, do you...
Yeah, I've never found one that really works for me. But I like the fact that I can go into phases of sleep and the lavender eye pillow drops off, and that's okay. I don't need the weight on my eyes anymore.
Do you recommend a sleep mask?
I recommend eye pillows, weighted yoga eye pillows.
Okay.
You know the ones you use in yoga classes where at the end they put you in shavasana and that. So I love those. I have one beside my bed. But for some people, on an aeroplane, I use an eye mask.
Okay.
Because if I'm not paying to lie down, which is often the case, then I'm sitting upright and I've got an eye mask.
So that's sight.
Let's do sound. White noise. White noise, really important. Good. Right? So the white noise for me is always a fan.
I think when it was hot, okay, let's get some air in. But now, all of us actually want a fan on.
We do. And hospitality industry, can you freaking well get this right, please? I am sick of going to hotels where you ask at reception, please, can you put a fan in the bedroom? And they'll say, we've got an air conditioning unit that's got a fan function. You cannot use that for white noise. It's pathetic. It doesn't cool the room down sufficiently. Just an old-fashioned fan in the bedroom.
Create white noise.
It can create white noise, but you can also create the right temperature for you as well. If you hate air conditioning, which I do, you need your bedroom to feel right. It needs to be a fraction of a degree cooler than your core temperature to switch on the circadian timer. So get a fan in the room. You can get white noise machines, but then obviously it'll be on your phone. You'll need to switch that on. But I've just come back from a holiday where they refused to look for a fan for me, even though I said, I'm a sleep expert. I'll give you an amazing TripAdvisor. Anyway, hospitality, get fans in bedrooms. This will give you a USP.
Not so much on the pillow menu. I have a pillow that is molded to my shoulder that I bought from Amazon because it helps my neck and my back. And 90% of the time I take it when I travel. A recent trip to the US, I didn't. 2 nights I had on planes as well. And then 3 nights in 2 hotels. Without my pillow, my neck and back really painful. And I had poor sleep.
Yeah, I know. My daughter has the same, and she has a chronic pain condition. So the pillow's really important for her as well. Sleep position, it really varies from one person to the next, and we sleep when we feel safe. And purists would say sleep on your back in corpse position, but I always have to be on my right side clutching a pillow. I don't like those neck pillows like the one you've got. I like an extra soft down one that I can even plump during the night. But tactile, somatic sense is really important. I travel most places with a blanket. This is really important for the neurodivergent sensitive sleeper. Sight, sound, smell, touch. Weighted blankets for some people, not for others. I can't
get on with it.
No, I can't either. I'm hypermobile, which is often the case with neurodivergence. I have actually sprained an ankle with a weighted blanket, even though it was the right weight for me. It didn't work. So,
but for me, trapped in a weighted blanket.
A bamboo blanket I love, and that went to the tropics with me. One side is cooling, the other side is heated, but sheets don't work. I need a critical weight in order to feel safe.
I think we need to be more fussy about our sleep, basically.
We really do. And hospitality industry, get this right, because the neurodivergent population percentage is growing.
Yeah, it is. But also the fact that when you go and sleep somewhere new, I guess, as neurodivergent people who like routine and like their
makes
comforts,
you feel safe.
Going and sleeping in a hotel can be exciting, but also it's a total change of everything.
First thing I do, from May till now, I've slept in 3 spaces. The most stressful one was going back, inverted commas, home to the tropics. My sleep, nervous system, I needed recovery when I got back. Because I used every trick in the book, including audiobook. So most nights I'd be listening to the same book. And for my daughter, hers is Harry Potter. And mine is this You Are a Channel. Over and over. It's downloaded, so I don't need the Wi-Fi. And I'm listening Sarah Landon's voice over and over again.
What about smells?
Smells ultra, ultra, ultra important. So important. I've even travelled in here with a particular smell. So I was using it on the underground. So for me, it's a mixture of lavender and eucalyptus on a tissue, which goes into my little handbag, and I get it out and smell. I don't need it in this interview because I feel safe. But I'll use it on the trains on the way home.
But then bedrooms?
But in bedroom, the first thing I do when I get to a hotel room is get the crap off the bed. Those dirty cushions and throws, which have been on the floor, get them off the bed. For me, I've got a thing about dirt on the bed. Anyway. So get that off. How can you make this bed feel as safe for yourself as possible? Sight, sound, smells. Get your side of the bed working for you. Negotiate with your partner who might not be neurodivergent. Have this conversation. Tell them why you need your side of the bed. Okay? Choose the book that you're going to read when you're on holiday. Set up your bedside table. Set up your smells, which you have used in your sleep space before you came out. So now your nervous system knows to receive the smell. As soon as I get into my hotel room, I sprinkle very liberally Olbas oil and lavender onto my bed sheets so that it smells like my bedroom at home.
Interesting.
Yeah. I will put my blanket on the bed and I'll have my book there. I'll have a picture of my late sister. Just the sight of her makes me feel safe.
You make it your bed.
I make it my bed.
Yeah, that's so
interesting. I have my water bottle there, so I'm not going to wake up. I look for visual signs of the time in the bedroom and I cover them over. I close the curtains and I walk around the room in the darkness looking for, where's the toilet? Where's the this? I don't want to...
Where are the
into a cupboard during the night, where's the this? How do I get to the toilet in the darkness? Because I don't want to put all the lights on. And I learnt this with my daughter when we went to Egypt when she was little. and split her eyebrow. She walked into a door in the night.
Yeah.
So you've got to get those. Do you need safety lights that you can travel with?
Yes.
All of that kind of stuff.
It's so great to talk to you. And I'm hoping for our audience of just like some of this stuff we know. We know what kind of being overstimulated or having a coffee before bed or eating too late or watching something really high intensity, stressful before trying to get to sleep. We kind of intellectually know some of this.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to put into practice.
Yeah, well, knowledge is not wisdom, is it?
No.
And common sense is not always common.
No.
And then sometimes we don't really know. I mean, my daughter and I, we're different, but we're so similar. But we sit and watch television. She's coming over to stay tonight. I can't wait. Just the smell of her makes me feel safe. I adore her. But she'll want to watch something on TV, which really dysregulates my nervous system.
Yep.
And it's a bloody reality show. And I know it dysregulates me because my wearable tells me. And it took me years to work that out because I thought, there's no one being killed, but they're just having arguments all the time.
Yes.
And it's so capitalistic.
Yeah.
There's a billion word in there. And I love it, but it dysregulates me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to really power down before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And me and little rescue dog are going to have to sit on the decking for 10 minutes afterwards.
But the one big thing I am taking away from chatting to you today is this kind of idea that I do have the power to create the right conditions for myself to feel safe enough to go to sleep. That sounds so simple, doesn't it? And so obvious.
And I love simple.
But regardless of like kids waking me up or dogs or whatever, all the other stuff that goes on.
That power lies inside of you.
Yeah, I really
And there
can
is a
do
place
that.
in all of us. There is a place in all of us where that lies and we can all get to it.
And it's not expensive. It's not about tech and wearables and tracking and lights or crazy devices or stuff they try and sell you on Instagram.
There's a whole powering down the brain, and that first choice of the day that you make, let it be one of meeting yourself.
Yeah.
Just put your hands on your belly, keep your eyes closed, breathe into your belly, meet yourself. And it might be a storm, or it might be, I'm going to talk to Ben today, or whatever. But just do that. Even do it for 60 seconds. And do it for the next 10 days and notice the difference. Notice what starts to happen to your nervous system.
I'm going to see, because 2 of my girls and my wife have been away for a few nights.
Yeah.
We're all back tonight. And I will be back for bedtime. And so I think I'm going to have a bit of fun taken out of me for, oh God, here we go. Here's another, can get a bit Sergeant Major of right, guys, family meeting. Let's talk about sleep.
Yeah.
My last question is, who would you give your second green badge to?
My second green badge, undoubtedly, no brainer, would be Maya, my daughter, Maya Nirvana. She's my greatest teacher. And she's amazing. And she's very wise. And she's incredibly wise. She's 21. We've been on such a journey. And I was so scared to be a mother, but she teaches me every time. She blows me away, and we're so different, so incredibly different. But she grounds me in many respects, and she infuriates me as well.
Every time you talk about her, your eyes glaze.
I know. It's just, she was due on the anniversary of my sister's death. And because she hates transitioning to the next thing, she took 10 days. And that's her. She takes, not always 10 days, it would drive me nuts, but she takes ages to go from one thing to the next thing because she finds transitions really hard. And she's my inspiration because, I see a lot of young people feeling a bit hopeless at the moment. And she reminds me to keep doing the work that I do because I think there is hope.
Yeah, and please keep doing the work that you do, because if we can sleep better, we can make better decisions.
Absolutely. It's the golden thread. It's the golden medicine that nature's given us.
Yeah, it's the good stuff. Thanks, Nerina.
Thank you, Ben.